Hi there and welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie Taddeo Nxumalo. Before we get started today, I've got a really relevant topic for us all right now, and that is stress. But first things first, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. So stress. Everybody has stress in our lives, whether it's today, last week, last month, or last year. And we will have stress every day in our life going forward. Right now, I know there's a lot of stress around COVID-19. A lot of people aren't working, a lot of people are home, isolated by themselves. A lot of people aren't sure how they're going to pay their rent or how to get their groceries. And some people are afraid and stressed about getting sick. Stress is something that's known as an invisible killer. Let's face facts. There's different levels of stress, of course. There's the stress that comes across as worrying. And that's okay, because stress is part of life. So before COVID-19, I was stressed about how I was going to get to work on time. I was stressed about making sure that I did everything I needed to do to get the jobs done at work. I was stressed about having to make sure I had enough time to spend with my husband and do Toastmasters. Those things were, now looking back, are so simple and really not a big deal. So stress, I guess, is really what we make it. The big stress in life, things like COVID-19 that enters our life when we're least prepared for it and don't know how to react to it, will start to manifest itself in different ways. I don't know about you, but my sleep was definitely affected when COVID-19 first started. I was afraid of everything going on. So I couldn't understand why I wouldn't sleep through the night. I was up and down, up and down, up and down. It was because I was having these crazy dreams about really crazy things. But that was just because something was worrying me in the back of my mind. For some people, stress makes you eat. Other times, stress makes you not eat. Stress can take over your life. It can be a physical fact where you start to pace and you get anxious and you don't want to sit still. It can also be a silent one in the back of your mind that just makes your mind race back and back and back and back, thinking all those negative thoughts, but also what happens next? What if, what if, what if? All of us have stress. If you're a parent, you're always going to worry and be stressed about your kids, making sure they have what they need to be healthy and safe. If you're a professional, is your business going to be doing successful? Are you going to make enough money to pay the bills? That sort of thing. If you're a student, you may be stressed about an upcoming exam or test, or if you're even going to graduate because of the situation. There's so many different things that could bring us stress. And no stress is bigger than any other. It just depends on the own situation. So for me, stress may be not being able to see my family during COVID-19. That causes me great stress. I have aging parents that every minute with them is important to me, but the fact that I can't see them causes me great anxiety. I want to make sure they're okay and they're safe. I can't go out into the community and do the community work that I regularly do because I'm afraid of traveling with COVID-19. So what can we do about stress? There's so many things that cause us stress, as I mentioned. We can take control of that stress. Some people suggest yoga or exercise. But what I really have started to do is mindfulness. Doing some deep breathing exercises to calm myself when my mind is racing and I can't control it. And just being mindful of what I'm stressing about and how I can divert the stress. Doesn't mean the situation is going to be solved. In fact, it may never be solved at that moment. But I do have control over how much stress I allow myself. You have to find something that's going to help you get through what you're going through. So for me, my getaway is audiobooks. Yes, some trashy romance novels never hurt, but also the really positive autobiographies. Hearing somebody else's story and their journeys helps me cope with stress. And as I mentioned, those breathing exercises. When I find my stress is at the highest level and I can't think straight, I want to cry, because that's how my stress comes through, is through frustration and crying. I have to just take a few minutes and do some deep breathing. And there's so many great apps out there that will help you with meditating and breathing exercises. Now, that doesn't work for everybody. I myself am terrible at meditating because my mind races. I know there's a technique that I'm sure I could learn to overcome it. But when stress gets to be too much, for me, it can also cause seizures. It can cause things that would cause me more harm. So I have to learn to get control of my stress. So I like to call what I do is my stress thermometer. What level is my stress at? So if I'm a little bit stressed at very low level, I might get a little bit anxious. I might notice my thoughts are a little distracted. I'm not focused on work 100%, or even when I'm listening to my book, I'm not even hearing it. That's a low level. That's when I need to nip it in the bud. I need to acknowledge it. I need to deal with it. So as I mentioned before, I'm stressed about not being able to see my mom. I miss her like crazy. But I also know that keeping her healthy is what's most important to me. COVID-19 is invisible. We can't see it. So is it worth me going to visit her for a day to calm that anxiety and stress, when I can easily call her on the phone or have a Zoom call with her to alleviate that stress? The harm I may bring to her by going to calm my stress for the benefit of myself is not worth it. That's a choice that I've made. So I've come up with alternative. As I mentioned, those phone calls. I usually talk to my mom on a regular basis, but now it's even more. The Zoom call is always great, and mom's not great at technology, but she's learning and she's loving it. The next level of my thermometer of stress would be medium. So it's past that stage where now it's affecting my sleep, not just my focus, but my sleep. And when I don't get sleep, there's a whole lot of things that happen. I get grumpy. My husband doesn't like it. I have no tolerance, and I can have seizures. This is the threshold that I know I need to put a stop to my stress. So I need to talk to somebody about how I'm feeling. I need to get it out in the open. It's almost like you put it out to the universe and then something will happen. When I talk to somebody, whether it's a friend, a family member, or my husband, I've put it out there. They may give me platitudes and those calming words of wisdom that may calm me for the moment, but it hasn't addressed it because I have to address my own stress. So with COVID-19, I can't go anywhere because I don't see where I'm going, and I'm afraid I might touch something or get too close to somebody. So this causes me great stress. But then I think about the big picture. I'm blessed to have a house, an apartment, a roof over my head, food in the house to stay safe, and a job that I can work on every day to keep me occupied, to keep me focused. So that means I have money coming in and paying the bills. Not everybody has those. So I look at the big picture and I talk about what I'm grateful for. So this is when the gratitude journal comes out. And I really write down and talk to myself about how much I have to be grateful for. So that's the low, the medium. Let's talk about high stress, because this is it, guys. I have had a stroke in the past. So I have a threshold. When I have had a seizure or if I'm overly stressed, I get migraines. And I can't let that happen because I refuse to let stress cause me to have a stroke again. That just won't happen. So this is the time where I need to do something fun and crazy to share my positivity. And this is when I really focus and depend on my Toastmasters and my charity, Connect for Life, because this brings me great peace of mind. I know there's great people surrounding me and that I can help others. Even when I'm stressing about what may be trivial to others, by helping others and doing good and paying it forward, it diminishes my stress level. I need to also make sure I get enough sleep. So listening to those audiobooks that put you to sleep, that's the time for those. And staying connected with people. There's so many other ways, but you need to discover what works best for you to alleviate stress. And next time, I'll share some other techniques with you. But don't forget to subscribe and like and share. I can't wait to see you next time here on Gaining Vision.